Hey everybody, it's me Noah the NNBandicoot, and welcome back to NNReviews. In a sense, I know I published the returns video in November, but I wanted to do this first. I'm gonna change the scoring system with this new season. I'm all done with 1 out of 10s because they're very vague. So I'm actually gonna go for a letter system because I'm a big Sonic fan and that's what happens. Like I go from S, A, B, C, and D. Um, in my this is I'm just this video is to not only say that the scoring system will change because that's the way I want to do it, but I thought it'd be a good time before we get to using it in brand new reviews. I thought this would be a good opportunity to go back and look at all of the games I reviewed up till this point and give them a letter grade. So let's go right here. As you can see right here, I got the list of all the reviews for season 1. And I made my own tier list. I will leave a link in the description if you want to show me what your opinions on all the games I reviewed. That'd be pretty interesting. So I'm gonna go on chronological order and give them a letter. S being perfect in my opinion. That is the thing. A is for great, B is for good, C is okay, and D is for trash. I've been going off this scoring system for a while, and now I'm going to put it in my reviews. So, let's get started. So, up first we got No More Heroes. Now, No More Heroes. So, the reason why I haven't done a review yet is because I replayed all of these games. Every single one of them. Even though I didn't want to most of the time. So, my opinions on No More Heroes hasn't really changed since I reviewed it. So, I think, I don't remember what score I gave it, like, I didn't bother looking up the scores, but just from my personal, the old score doesn't matter in this review for thing, whatever. The old grade doesn't matter. This is how I feel when I replayed the game. Sorry, Alright. Cut that last part out, Noah. Oh, thank you. Alright. So the past grading does not matter here. This is all from replaying the game and how I feel about it now. And I think that No More Heroes gets an A rank. Like, I don't think it's perfect in my opinion. Like, there's some things that bother me about the game. Mostly the tilting Wii remote thing. Like you tilt up to attack up, you tilt down to turn to tilt down. That's a little funky. I'm not a big fan of grinding money to get to the next level, but that's about it. Like it's a great game and I highly recommend it, and I really hope it comes to Switch along with No More Heroes 2. Safe to say I am looking forward to No More Heroes 3, but Heroes gets an A rank. Mad World easily gets an S rank. Like, I love Mad World. I can pick up that game and just blaze through it, have a good time, beat some really awesome designed boss fights with great music, and the commentaries are hilarious. Easy S rank. Another easy S rank is Mega Man X, and I'll just say that right now. Like, Mega Man X is an easy S rank. Like, I'm gonna be frank, I don't think it's my favorite 2D platformer anymore. We've had a lot of good ones over the years. But Mega Man X, pretty fucking good. Like, and this also includes its remake. That also gets an S. I actually prefer the remake more than the original nowadays. I just I really enjoy the extra content that the remake gives. I like the style that it goes for. I like the voice acting. Deus Sigma alone makes it better than the original Mega Man X. Like a full 20-minute anime pilot, that which makes me sad because that would have been a cool anime to watch. But I think Maverick Hunter X is the better game between the two, but they both get S ranks. I love those games to pieces. Sega Superstars was the next one. Uh I'm gonna admit something right now. Sega Superstars is kind of like Connect fun. Like it's not a game that I will sit down and play, but it is a game that would be fun to it would be kind of fun to play it on with friends at a party with drinks and stuff. Like I don't see the only thing, like some of the games work, some of them don't. And the only really fun one is the fighting game one, Virtua Fighter. That's like the only fun one. So for that, I'm gonna have to give Sega Superstar a C rank. It's just an okay game. Crash Bandicoot the original. Okay, so we have two hurdles to jump over. The first one is since the review, the first hurdle I jumped over. I did a stream, I believe, afterwards where I 100%ed the game the first time in years at that point. And once you know the level design, I actually really liked Crash 1 quite a bit. I would honestly give this game a higher rating if I was still using the 10 out of 10 system. But the second hurdle I needed to jump over was the remake. The remake did not come out when I reviewed this game first. So, and I can't go back to the original because of it. But I'm trying not to let that hinder the score, because at the end of the day, I'm reviewing this specific game. And I think Crash Bandicoot 1 is a B rank. I'm going to be generous with it. I think it probably deserves a C rank, but I think B's fine. Like it was the first game of my favorite franchise ever. Like I think it really needs the remake just kicks it out of the water, but I think if you can deal with its bullshit or just not 100% the game, the original is still a fun play, so I think B is fine. Crash Bandicoot 2, I don't even need to go over this. This is an S rank. Easily an S rank. We don't need to go over why. Crash Bandicoot 2 is one of my favorite video games of all time, so we don't even need to cover that one. Crash Bandicoot 3. Okay, so... So, I'm being super objective, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but I'm a person who doesn't care about hate, so I'm just going to say it anyway. Crash Bandicoot 3, I'm giving it an A rank, because for sole reasons being like... I honestly don't think the vehicle sections have aged the best. I actually figured out. Like, I played 2 and 3 back-to-back when I was a kid, and if this recent playthroughs opened my eyes to why I prefer 2 over 3. 2 doesn't... Like, 3 has too many vehicle gimmicks, and hardly any of them are good. Like... I enjoyed the jet skis in the original Crash Bandicoot 3, but there's too many of them. There's like 5 of them. There's like 5 jet ski levels in the entire game. The only returning vehicle in massive quotes is the tiger, and he doesn't even get more than 3. Like, you only get 2 in that entire game. The planes in the original have not aged the best, in my opinion. The relics, I think, I've grown to like the relics over the years, but I still think it's a pretty dumb... I still think it's a pretty dumb mechanic to have for it to be mandatory to the game, because some people, I love speedrunning games, even though I'm not good at them, but I would never want to force somebody to race through levels, especially levels that they don't like, and just to unlock more levels and to get the true ending. I think that's a pretty bad. I think that's a pretty bad gameplay mechanic, all things considered. Like, that's how I feel about them. The motorcycle stages have aged terribly, in my opinion. I hate fucking level 14. I don't know what I think that was Road to Nowhere. Maybe I don't remember. No, that's a Crash Bandicoot 2 level. But my point is like, I don't think Crash 3 in anything but its strongest points, which is the platforming and the themings. I think it's just a far inferior game to Crash 2, and that's where I stand on that. Alright, so Crash Team Racing, the original, it has the same hurdle, the singular hurdle, as Crash 1 did. But replaying Crash 1, especially after the remake with all the characters we've gotten, I still think it's a solid game. I would give this still an S rank. Like, it's got solid track design. Like, I appreciate like the remake having like a classic mode in quotations, where the adventure mode is like you can only play 8 characters and go through them. But I feel like if I want the classic experience, I'll just play the original game. The original game has its own charm that the remake just can't emulate. I mean, maybe that's not the best wording, but I give Crash Team Racing an S rank. Absolutely. Bash. Bash. Okay. For a full-on multiplayer experience, I would give it an S rank, because it is so. I have played this game with some friends, and I recently did a co-op LP on it with Dom on Fleek, Dominic. Go check him out. He'll be in the description below. But playing with friends, Crash Bash is such a good time. But unfortunately, you need to play single player to unlock most of the mini games, and most of the mini games you unlock kind of suck. I'll be honest. Yes, you can do it with you can do a co-op, but I actually find if you don't have a good co-op buddy, you're not going to get very far into this game. Like, me and Dominic struggled a lot just getting to the third world. Which I can say for a fact, when I played by myself, I didn't have that issue. But at the same time, you don't want to play a party game by yourself. So with that logic, I'm gonna give Crash Bash. I'm gonna give it a B rank. Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. Okay. I'm gonna give it an A rank. I think Wrath of Cortex is overly hated for no justifications. All the reasoning, except for the load times, is kind of bullshit in my opinion. Like, I mean, Wrath of Cortex does things that better than Crash 3 did. Like, I think the swimming controls are so much better than they were in Crash Bandicoot 3, even though the levels are not that good. The relics, yes, you still have to do them to get the true ending and get more levels, but I didn't bring this up because I knew I was going to bring it up here. In Crash 3, the relics you get don't even unlock all new original levels. Just 3 of them out of 5. The other 2, actually, was it 3? Yeah, I think there's 3. But yeah, in Wrath of Cortex, I very much appreciate that the relics give you brand new levels. There's no backtracking to older levels at all with the relics, and I appreciate that a whole lot more, even though I still think it's a bad system entirely. I think I love Wrath of Cortex. I'm not afraid to admit it. I think people hate on this game too much for the weakest reasons, I'll say. But I think each to each their own. Twin Sanity, S rank easily. But actually, no. Okay, okay. Let me explain. I want to give it. I think it deserves an A rank because I think it deserves an A rank because half of the game is gone from it. Like a little more than half of the game is gone from that. Has been gutted out, and I think that weakens the experience. But said experience is an S rank by itself. Like even though it's missing half the game, it was still a great time from beginning to end. So I'm giving it that S rank because even though it's a gutted game, it's still a fantastic one. All right, this one is very interesting. Mighty Number 9. I was super generous to this game when it came out. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the DLC was actually cool. I think Rey was a great boss fight. She was a great character to play as. She had the Venom gameplay style. Other than the frame rate, I pretty much enjoyed everything I played of Mighty Number 9. But this recent playthrough kind of opened my eyes a bit. I think I gave the game a pass because we didn't get a Mega Man game. Like this was like the new Mega Man game, and I did enjoy my first playthrough and multiple playthroughs, I'm sure. But playing it like 5 years later, 3 years later, somewhere between, it's kind of lifeless. Like with Mega Man 11 now, and me finally playing every single X game thanks to the Legacy collections, and playing Mega Man 9 and 10. Mighty Number 9 is really lifeless. Like it's got elements that I love more than Mega Man, but the package itself is not enough. Like I rebought this game for PS4, and the frame rate issue was kind of gone. I think there was one point in the game where it was super laggy, but yeah, it was just it's tough, man. Like I had a lot of fun with Mighty Number 9, but this recent playthrough has really opened my eyes, and part of me doesn't want to accept it, but I didn't have as much fun as I did last game. Like I still think the Rey DLC is the best part of the game. Like the Rey boss fight is super fun, energetic, but I think the rest of the game is it's not that worth it. So unfortunately, I have to give Mighty Number 9 the D rank. It pains me to do that because I had genuine fun with Mighty Number 9, but you gotta accept reality at some point. Data design. The data design review has not aged well. I like to forget about those days, so I'm just gonna give it the D rank because all four of those games are utter trash. All right, One Piece Unlimited Red. This one was weird. It's one of those games where I enjoyed my playthrough with it, but I don't see myself playing it again in a very long time. Or ever. The only reason I replayed it is for this video. Like, I enjoyed it, but there's not enough for me to go back to it. So I'm gonna give One Piece Unlimited Red C rank. Alright, Spyro the Dragon, the original. Okay, so I'm gonna be the one that says Spyro 1 has not aged that well at all. I will full on admit I have never 100%ed the original Spyro. I think I can't be bothered because Well, I guess it's because the lack of hover really kills it for me. But I just don't really like this one. Like, there's like nothing to grab onto in this game, especially with the sequels and the remake. The remake literally fixes all my problems, but for the original, the problems are still there. Like, Treetop is a terrible level, and I never want to play it again. At least in the remake, it's prettier looking. I'm giving Spyro a C rank. There might be hate for that one, but, whatever. So, Spyro 2, I'm just gonna S rank easily. I love Spyro 2, and nothing will change that. Alright. So up next we got the Square Eye Jack review of Spyro 3, because I was copying Square Eye Jack in that review. Never mind the fact that we have the same opinion. Good God, we can't have the same opinion. It was hard to judge this game fairly. It was super hard to judge this game fairly without personal bias and stuff, because I don't like Spyro 3 that much. Like, I think it's a solid game, better than the original one by far. But I could only, with Spyro 2, I 100% that game multiple times. With Spyro 3, one time and I was done. Like, I never wanted to play the game again, and every time I tried to pick it back up, I just wanted to put it back down. So unfortunately, I'm going to give Spyro 3 a B rank. But I will say that the remake fixes all of my issues, so it's actually a good game. A pretty good game. A really good game, actually. But again, I'm talking about the original, and I did not like the original at all. Speaking of something I didn't really like, Enter the Dragonfly, we don't even need to talk about this. It's a D rank. Alright, Team Fortress 2. TF2, it's a fun game, but I'm not an FPS guy to begin with. TF2 is like the exception to the rule of games I love, but I guess the next time I played it, I didn't have that much fun with it. I'm gonna be honest. But as a game, I'm gonna give TF2, and I'll give it an A rank because for the personality and the characters. Poker Night. It's a poker simulator, and it does it well, and it has pretty iconic characters. 1 and 2 might as well share a spot. I'm gonna give it an A rank because the amount of enjoyment that you will get from this game depends on if you know the franchises, and honestly, the only ones I knew was the heavy guy, the blonde guy from the second one. I saw GLaDOS and Claptrap. So it all depends on. It really all depends on if you like the franchises it gives you. Superman 64, D rank. No need to explain anymore. Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure. I still hate this game. I can't. The level design is too awful. Like, it's too awful. I'm actually, no shame, I'm giving Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventures a D rank. I don't even think it's an okay game. I honestly don't think it's a good game. But I should honestly give it a C rank though. Personally, I want to give it a D rank, but I guess I should say it's a C rank because some people do like this game. Crash Bandicoot Entranced, on the other hand, that's an S rank. Easily an S rank. It fixes all the problems the Huge Adventure had, and it made a great gameplay. It had good bosses. The relics were not required for once in a Crash Bandicoot life. It was a good time. It was a good future. Crash Bandicoot Nitro Car. Okay. So, there's a hurdle to jump over again, and it's not... I still don't think it's a fun game. I think it's okay, but that's all it is, so it's a C rank. The GBA Advance one is still really good. I would give that one an A rank. I honestly would give it an S if the drifting system wasn't so awkward. Crash Purple. Personal nostalgia would make me give this... Personal nostalgia would make me give this an A rank. But the recent playthrough is like, I can see why people don't like this. So I have to give it a C rank. It's just an okay game. While Spyro Orange is a D rank, and I don't need to explain myself for that one either. Crash Tag Team Racing. I honestly don't know about Crash Tag Team Racing. I had mixed feelings after my current playthrough, honestly. Like, it's such a lifeless racing game, but I really do dig the hub world idea. I'm gonna give it a C rank. Crash Boom Bang, D rank. I don't need to explain myself. Sonic Adventure 2. When I take all the levels and split them off to good and bad levels, when you put it like that, I really do like only half the game. The Sonic and Shadow levels, with one or two levels exception, are the best part of the game. Eggman's levels are the better than Tails' levels. Just not even by Tails and the Mech. That doesn't even bother me anymore. Tails and the Mech doesn't bother me anymore, but I really do not like his levels. Like, I think his only good one is the first one. The rest really are awful. And Eggman has all the good levels for the shooting levels. And I hate treasure hunting. I really hate it. It's not fun to do, and I don't care who says otherwise, because the treasure hunting will always be worse than the one in SA1. I will admit, I might have said this in the review, but I think I was one of those people that blindly hated this game because of Johnny. Some call me Johnny because he didn't like it, and I felt like that influenced my opinion. But on a fresh take playthrough, I'll give Sonic Adventure 2 a B rank. Sonic Advance, S rank. Don't even need to explain myself, honestly. Alright, Sonic Rush Adventure. Okay, so, like I said in the review, it was a breath of fresh air. A complete breath of fresh air, because nowadays, I'm gonna be honest, I hate where Sonic is nowadays. Like, I hate how he's reusing, old zones. And don't worry, there's gonna be a video of my standpoint on, how Sonic is. It's coming. It's gonna be a little discussion with myself, but I'll go into detail when that video happens. But for Sonic Rush Adventure, it was such a breath of fresh air. Like, the sailing wasn't even that bad. It was just something to deal with. The grinding, honestly, I didn't mind the grinding because the levels are that damn good. I love the set pieces it has. Like, Sonic Rush Adventure is an amazing game. But on an objective truth, sailing and grinding is not a good thing in Sonic. So I have to give it an A rank for that. Sonic and the Black Knight. Okay. This one, I wanted to give this an S rank, but my recent playthrough of Black Knight wasn't a bad one. Not at all. No. In fact, I'm just going to give my rank right now. It's an A rank. But I enjoy the levels. I enjoy the themings. I enjoy everything about it, this game. But I honestly feel like if you replace the swing, unlike Skyward Sword, if you were to replace the sword swings with a button, if you would just, yeah. if you just replace the sword swings with a button, I feel like there wouldn't be much of a difference. So that's where I'm standing on this. Okay, so here are my ranks for all my reviews of season 1. Now you guys know how I'm going to be grading future reviews. So with that said, I'm like 33% done my next review. You'll understand why it's taking a while once it comes out. But thank you guys for watching, and look forward to more reviews. I'm Noah the NNBandicoot. Thank you guys for watching, and take care. Peace.